go to you first. What did Golden State prove with their Game 7 win in Houston last night?
That defense wins championships. And when you're trying to go and win a championship, I know everybody want to talk about what happens on the offensive side of things, but it showed defensively what the Warriors could do. They went and got it in the trenches last night. And we know Draymond Green, he set the tone early, I thought, on both ends of the floor, but defensively, his defensive presence set the tone, and we know what Jimmy Butler brought to the table. But this game defensively was all about Steph Curry. Damn it, he showed up and showed out on the defensive side of things, finally outplaying Fred VanVleet, who outplayed him in 3 straight games. So when I think about Steph Curry as an overall basketball player and what I looked at last night in this Game 7, I said to myself, Steph Curry really is 1 championship and 1 Finals MVP from entering the GOAT conversation.
What is up? What's up, good people? It's your boy Kelvin coming at you. Salute to everybody, man, wherever you may be out there in the world, man. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm going to talk about Steph Curry. Just a quick conversation, quick thoughts I had, and I just wanted to speak on it real quick. As we know, tonight, the Warriors start their series round 2, game 1 with the Minnesota Timberwolves. But I want to talk a little bit about the previous series. It's Game 7. Game 7, the Warriors Sunday night, they went on the road and they beat the Rockets in Houston. And ever since that game concluded, and even the second half of the season as the Warriors start to surge after the Jimmy Butler trade, I've seen this push in the mainstream media and online and the internet and social media sites and stuff, this push to somehow have Steph Curry as a top 5 player of all time. And even as you just heard on the intro, Kendra Perkins saying that Steph Curry, if he win a championship, he's in the GOAT conversation. And, you know, this is no disrespect or hate to Steph Curry, but in my personal opinion, I believe that's a bit too much. I believe the hype is going too far and people are going a little bit overboard. I get it. I have no dislike or hate for Steph Curry. I've stated many times, I am a big fan of Steph Curry just like y'all. I have great respect for him and his career. He seems to be a very nice, likable guy. And I enjoy watching him too. And he is by far the greatest 3-point shooter or shooter that ever lived. He does get GOAT status on that, but as an individual basketball player compared to the other greats in the current and previous era, I believe top 5 all time is a bit too much. Again, I'm not here to debate anybody. Everyone can have their own personal opinion. I'm just giving my personal opinion, man, you know. And I just feel like top 5 is just a bit too much, you know. Now let's talk about this Game 7 that they just finished with the Rockets. After this game, the media's giving Steph Curry a lot of praise and a lot of push for this Game 7 with the Warriors. And I'm looking at it kind of different because in my personal opinion, I'm not overly impressed that the Warriors beat the Rockets in 7 games. If you watch that series closely, you can clearly see after Game 1 that the Warriors were a better team. The Rockets had a very nice season. They got nice young pieces, nice players that's going to build in the future with a lot of their main guys like Sagoon and Jalen Green and Thompson and Eason and Jabari Smith. For these guys, that's going to be staples in the future, I believe. This is their first time in the playoffs. And you can clearly see after the first game, they were not ready. And the Warriors being a veteran team with a lot of playoff experience and stuff like that, you can see, I don't care about the seeding or the records or the regular season wins. I don't care anything about it. I said it before the playoffs started. The Rockets were a few years away. They need a couple more pieces on the offensive end. And most importantly, they need experience. This year is very valuable experience for the Rockets. And and they can use it going forward as a building block. And so, in my opinion, the Warriors should have won that series in 5 games. Yes, game 3 and 4 in San Francisco, the games were close, but the Warriors won, and they should have went back to Houston and won that series in 5. But game 5, they went down there and lollygagged and played around. They gave that game away. It was like, we're going to win the series at back home at 6. They played with fire. They end up losing game 6. And then after they got the wake-up call in game 6, they had to go back on the road for a game 7 to win against a team that they're superior than right now. And I'm not overly impressed with them having to go 7 games. If you're a great team, you finish off inferior teams as fast as possible. You don't mess around. You don't play around. Fluky things can happen. We just seen the Clippers series where Westbrook, the Clippers playing around with the Denver Nuggets. Westbrook caught fire and started hitting threes. He shot over 40%, and the Clippers end up losing the series they should have won, messing around. And so I'm not overly impressed with you playing around with a young Kitty Rockets team. Yes, they're a physical team. Yes, they play good defense, but you can clearly see they were not ready. And y'all taking all these games, 7 games to beat them, to me, it was not that impressive. That's just my opinion. It's not like y'all played a great team. You had to overcome to win a game 7. No. And so that's just my thought. And so I don't know where all this hype and stuff is coming from, this love fest for the Warriors winning game 7 in Houston against a Kitty Rockets team with no experience. Now, I also want to speak about this push to have Steph Curry over Kobe Bryant. And again, this is no slight to Steph Curry, but in my personal opinion, I feel like it's disrespectful to put Steph Curry in the same class with Kobe Bryant. That's just my personal opinion. In my opinion, Steph Curry is nowhere close to the caliber of basketball player that Kobe Bryant was. Nowhere close. I understand you might like Steph Curry. Steph Curry is aesthetically pleasing to watch when he get going and he starts shooting threes and he got to getting the crowd hyped up out there in San Francisco. It's very fun and enjoyable to watch. I get it. But we talking about a complete basketball player. I don't care nothing about your analytics or nothing like that. There is nothing on the court that I want Steph Curry to do that I would take him to do it over Kobe Bryant, except shooting a 35, 40-foot three-pointer. If I need a three-pointer, I'll take Steph Curry. Every other aspect of the game, I take Kobe Bryant 10 times out of 10. Even a clutch free throw. I know Steph Curry is one of the all-time elite free throw shooters, over 90%. Kobe, for his career, was an 83, 84% free throw shooter. So it's not like he was some slouch. Okay? And so, other than three-point shooting, I got Kobe for everything else. And offense and defense. And when you talk about the defense, it's not even close. People hyping and talking about Steph Curry, his defense against the Rockets in the Rockets series. And I give him a lot of credit. He played great defensively for the first time in his career against the Rockets in this series. I was very, very impressed. But ladies and gentlemen, Kobe Bryant played defense his whole career. Kobe Bryant was a 12-time all-defensive player, 9 times all-first team. So when you factor in that side of the court, it's a Grand Canyon gap between the two players. And defense matters. I don't care what the media said to y'all and lies, making y'all think the only thing matters is shooting and scoring and step-back threes and fancy dribbling. The devil is a lie. Both sides of the court matter. Yes, you have to be able to shoot and score. Most importantly, you need a star player on the offensive side that can go get you a bucket in crunch time or create shots for others in big moments, and, clutch moments. That's the most important thing as far as offense. But defense wins championships. Period, point blank, end of discussion. I've spoken many times, and I'm going to tell y'all guys again. Back in the year 2000, Game 7, I was telling the guys about this in our chat, our sports chat. And a lot of people, nobody talks about this game. The 2000 Western Conference Finals, Game 7. Y'all know the iconic play where Kobe threw the alley-oop to Shaq, and they came back from whatever it was in the fourth quarter, 13, 14 points or whatever it was. The Lakers came back and won. In this Game 7, especially in the first half of this game, Kobe Bryant saved the Lakers on the defensive side of the court. The game is on YouTube. Y'all go find it and watch it. I watched it maybe about 10 months to a year ago. I had to go back and watch that game. And that game was one of the greatest defensive games you will ever see by a wing player in NBA history that Kobe Bryant, did in that game 7. He was the best player on the court on both ends, Shaq, no Shaq, or whatever. Kobe's defense saved the Lakers dynasty in that first half. If you watch that game in the first half, the offense was struggling. But Kobe's defense on the perimeter and in the post, on multiple players, Stoudemire, Steve Smith, Scottie Pippen. If you watch that game closely, his defense kept the Lakers in striking distance. It kept them in the game where they would have a fighting chance to even come back in the fourth quarter. Go watch. I'm going to drop a few little clips. Y'all check it out right now, and then I'll be right back.
Players for the Lakers today, it's got to be Harper, Horry, and Fisher. And then first to the ball, Phil Jackson saying.
Stoudemire into the lane.
And as I said before, if they don't get him involved in the game, you give Portland a great chance to stay close, and they've won almost every first quarter against the Lakers.
Stoudemire turns the corner, finds Sabonis, open two, way off with it.
Can confront Shaq. Perimeter post players who can handle and create, and a lot of depth for the Blazers.
Sabonis screens for Stoudemire, who pops the jumper.
The double team is going to come there. He should be drop stepping. He should be backing down, pounding that ball, trying to get that second foul on Sabonis.
Steve Smith again.
Contact who hit first all the time, but are often away from the ball when that's happening.
Steve Smith backs in and misses over Kobe, who takes. After O'Neal knocks them both down, the Blazer lead is 6. Steve Smith, jumper over Bryant. It's short, and Kobe protects the rebound. Pippen glances at the clock, down to 6. And the ball knocked out of bounds and touched last by the Trailblazers. Bonzi Wells feeling it. Kobe Bryant forced him into a difficult shot.
And he is staying down. There's no gambling here. He's got size, strength, jumping ability over Bonzi Wells. Wait for Bonzi to bring it into.
There you have it. That's just a few clips. I would advise you, go watch the full game. And if you watch the full game, you will see defense matters. You can affect the game and change the game if you put effort on the defensive side of the court. And that game there, that Kobe should get credit for, nobody talks about. It's one of the greatest defensive games by any player in NBA history. And he saved them. Not his scoring, not his offense. Yes, he did score in the second half. He made some big shots during that game. His defense won them that game, and it saved them from losing, and it saved their dynasty. Because before that, they got swept a couple times, got swept by the Spurs, swept by Utah, lost by, I think in 97 they lost in 5 games to Utah. And there was rumblings of breaking that team up or whatever. I know Phil Jackson came there in 2000, but Kobe's effort on the defensive end saved them. And so when we talk about comparing players, I am not going to disrespect the defensive side of the ball. These all-time great players that put in max effort on both sides of the court, that is going to be honored and respected. Period. End of discussion. If you're going to have a debate. And so when you talk about that side of the court, there is no debate between the two players. None. Now, you want to talk about offense. It's just some very basic stats. Let's look at the screen right here. We're going to look at career scoring totals for Steph Curry and Kobe Bryant. And we're going to compare the two. So, on the screen right here that you guys are looking at, these are Steph Curry career scoring totals, regular season, playoffs, play-in, and this is the total right here. Let's just start with the regular season real quick. Career 20 plus point games, 717 regular season. 311 30 plus point games regular season. 71 40 plus point games regular season. 15 50 plus point games. 2 60 plus point games. That's regular season. Playoffs 60 plus point game. No, 60 30 plus point games, excuse me. Let's go back to 20. I'm sorry. 20 plus point games, 123, 60 30 plus, 8 40 plus point games, and 1 50 plus point game in the playoffs. And then you got to play in a couple play-in games. Steph Curry got 4 20 plus point games and 3 30 plus point games. So you can pause the video, take a look at it. That's the breakdown between regular season, playoffs, play-in with Steph Curry. Now, let's go to Kobe Bryant. All right, now, as you see here on the screen, this is the breakdown for Kobe Bryant. Regular season, playoffs. I'm just going to start with the 20 plus point games. Regular season, 941. 20 plus point games. 431, 30 plus point games. 122, 40 plus point games. 25, 50 plus point games. 6 60 plus point games, and 170 plus. That is the 81 point game against the Raptors. Playoffs, 167 20 plus. 88 30 plus point games. 13 40 plus point games. 150 plus point games in the playoffs. And of course, when Kobe was around, there was no play-in, anything like that. So you can pause the video and you look at the full breakdown. This is courtesy of Land of Basketball. And, y'all check it out. Now, let's look at the career totals. You can look at it here on the screen where it's more clear and you can see the difference in the gap. Y'all want to talk about scoring. I don't care anything about field goal percentage and all that. Yes, we don't even need to look at three-pointers made. Steph Curry is the king of that. He got that. Let's look at the career totals between the two players. It's here on the screen. Playoffs and regular season. Kobe, 1108, 20 plus. 519, 30 plus. 135, 40 plus point games. 26, 50 plus point games. 6, 60 plus point games. And of course, the 181 point game. That is playoffs and regular season. That's for Kobe. And as you see, Steph Curry, 844 20 plus point games. And as he's still playing, so that's going to go up. 374 30 plus point games. 79 40 plus point games. 16 50 plus point games. 2 60 plus point games. And 0 70 plus. So, as you see here, as we speak today, and Steph Curry is 37 years old, y'all want to talk about scoring, it's not even close. Kobe was a far superior, more dominant scorer than Steph Curry. And keep in mind, Steph Curry got the green light to shoot as many threes as he wants and all that type jazz. And he's still this much of a gap between them in scoring. And then also keep in mind this also. When you think back to Kobe's career, the first, 7, 8 years of his career, he played with Shaq. And he playing with Shaq, he's not able to fully unleash on what he could have. Like, we seen him the few years in between Shaq and Pau Gasol, what Kobe was doing with that 2005, 2006, up to 2008, all the dominant scoring records and individual scoring things that Kobe did. Now, imagine if he would have went to a bad team and Kobe would have had the keys at 18 years old, like most of the lottery picks, and he's a franchise guy with no Shaq. Yes, the team is going to be bad, and just let him do what he want, like every other top pick, and just go from there. And he's able to just shoot, score, and do all the things that any other lottery pick get to do on a bad team when they get drafted. Imagine all the scoring he would have then. How much more it would be 20-plus point game, 30, 40, 50. Imagine that if there was no Shaq. Now, yes, he wouldn't have had the 3 championships, but you have to give Kobe credit for sacrificing the first part of his career in order to win with Shaq. And he was still dominant with Shaq. Yeah, a lot of 30, 40-point games, but imagine how much more it would have been with no Shaq. How crazy his offensive numbers would have been. You know what I mean? Just keep that in mind. So, I just wanted to say that, man. You know, this is not a disrespect to Steph Curry at all. I have nothing but the utmost admiration and love and respect for Steph Curry and his career. And we should all sit back and enjoy Steph Curry as he's dwindling down on his career. And I wish him nothing but the best and good luck in the playoffs. But him winning another championship this year and getting the Finals MVP, I'm sorry, it does not put him in the GOAT conversation or top 5. Let me mention these couple things also. I know some of y'all ain't gonna like it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Steph Curry has 4 championships. 2 of those championships in 2017 and 18 don't mean shit. It's absolute dog boo-boo. I said and I stand on that, in my opinion. I would be a hypocrite if I criticize LeBron James, former super teams, criticize Kevin Durant, and then I give Steph Curry a pass because I like him. No, I keep the same energy for all 3 of them. The super team thing is weak. Steph Curry did recruit Kevin Durant. He flew out there to the Hamptons and got on his knees and begged and said, I'm here and I want you. To Kevin Durant. That's what he said after they lost Game 7 in 2016. He did that. So, that right there takes him out of the top 10 conversation for me. You know, so yes, 2 real championships, 2 garbage championships. That means nothing. So for me, Kobe Bryant is a top 5 basketball player of all time. And then, in my opinion, Steph Curry is a top 15-ish. And if he win a championship, which is a big if, we can have that discussion then whether we should move him up closer to the top 10. For me, it's just my opinion. I'm not here to debate or disrespect anybody. I'm just giving my thoughts and my opinion. And I believe right now the hype and the talk behind Steph Curry is a bit too much. We need to calm down. Calm down. And him being in the class with Kobe Bryant, to me, it's not even close. It's a Grand Canyon gap between the 2 players when you factor in both sides of the court. Kobe Bryant was able to affect the game in more ways than just scoring. You know the infamous Game 7 in 2010 that everybody talk about? Oh man, Kobe shot 6 for 24, yada, yada, yada. Well, Kobe Bryant in that game played great defense on Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, kept them to low shooting percentages, and also in a big man era with Pau Gasol, Andrew Bynum, Kevin Garnett, Rasheed Wallace. Kendrick Perkins was hurt Game 7. But with all those big men, Kobe Bryant, as a shooting guard, went out and grabbed 15 rebounds, as a shooting guard. This is not a small ball era game, that 2010 final. That was still a big man there. He went out and grabbed 15 rebounds in that game. Go find me a game where Steph Curry won grabbing 15, 20 rebounds. Go find me a game Steph Curry won a championship, affected the championship on the defensive end. Not just this one measly series with the Houston Rockets he just played. Go find me that. Go find me a game where Steph Curry won and affected the game without shooting and scoring. Go find it for me. Y'all find it, put the link in the comments, and I'll go watch it. You ain't gonna find it. All Steph Curry great games with him shooting, scoring, shooting threes. That's it. Kobe Bryant got great defensive games, rebounding, offense, scoring on all levels. He can shoot threes. He can shoot the mid-range jump shot. He can post up, finish at the rim, make free throws. He can do it all. Steph Curry can only be dominant on one side of the court, and that is offense, shooting and shooting threes. That's it. And I don't want to hear nothing about, this gravity when he's running around behind screens and the defense and shift and all that type of stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, all great players that are dominant scorers in NBA history have gravity. That is the dumbest thing ever that people that made up this word gravity for Steph Curry because he run around and the defense has to pay attention to him. Yes, they do. He is a superstar. And all the other superstars in NBA history have gravity. You gonna tell me Shaq didn't have gravity when he played? You gonna tell me Michael Jordan didn't have gravity when he played? Kobe Bryant didn't have gravity when he played? Ladies and gentlemen, all great players, all superstar great players have gravity. They're gonna draw a double team, triple team. The defense gonna game plan for that superstar, do everything they can to stop him, and it's gonna cause their teammates to have open shots. That's all gravity is. Steph Curry is not the only one to have gravity in NBA history. I'm sorry, he's not. And that is the single dumbest word and the dumbest term that ever came in NBA history that attaches to Steph Curry. This word gravity, like it's something special. It's nothing special. All superstars have gravity, except Bill Russell. You can talk about the all-time great. Bill Russell was a defensive player. He affected the game defensively. He wasn't a scorer per se. But everybody else in NBA history that was a scorer, as a superstar, had gravity. Okay? So, I just feel like we need to pump the brakes on Steph Curry. He's not anywhere close to Kobe Bryant, in my opinion. He's nowhere close to top 5. In my opinion, he's not even top 10. And we just need to pump the brakes. Let's just enjoy Steph Curry. Let's have fun watching the game tonight. And let's stop all this GOAT talk and all this other type stuff, man. Let's just enjoy the playoffs and have a good time and enjoy Steph Curry play. All right? But that's all I want to say. I'm up out of here.